I call to order the Aleppo Township Workshop Meeting of October 12th, 2020. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
President Jones,
Present.
Commissioner Dara,
Present.
Commissioner Haluka,
Present.
Solicitor Stone,
Here.
and Manager Patterson.
Here.
So will I hear something when he comes on?
Well, I should hear the ring.
Okay. This meeting is recorded, so anyone watching or watching afterwards, you can go through the whole thing anytime, any place, anywhere. Do I hear a motion to approve the September 21st, 2020 legislative meeting minutes?
So moved.
So second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Old business, 2021 budget update.
Just keeping everyone informed, I'm working on the budget line by line, and I'm going through and finding the mystery amounts and things like that, so I'm researching it. A lot of the stuff is coming in, the stuff that we need, the various amounts that we receive from other agencies where I have exact dollar amounts that I can plug in. I would like to be on track for November legislative meeting. If we might be able to adopt by then, if not, we'll adopt in December, but you'll have a draft in November either way, whether it depends on how soon I collect some of this information to give it to you. But again, if anybody has any questions or anything that they want to talk about or look to projects or anything to take on in the next year, let me know and I'll see how we can work those kinds of things in around our costs.
Any notice of any significant reductions in revenue?
The one that we've gotten so far is that liquid fuels, our liquid fuels allocation will be down, only really a couple $1,000s, but I will be watching. Some of the things we have are contracts, so they're gonna be the same. But I'm gonna be watching for some of this stuff to see, because a couple $1,000s here is not a big deal, but if we have a couple $1,000s in a lot of places, it could end up being different.
And for everybody's information, when Commissioner Dara asked about the $250,000 shortfall in revenues, the majority of that is the fact that we had a $185,000 real estate transfer last year, which we will not have this year. The balance of that shortfall will be made up more than likely with the EIT, which is kind of a regular monthly payment. Okay, new business. Halloween trick-or-treating.
So following the normal custom, the Aleppo Township trick-or-treating evening will be on October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. It's not a municipally sponsored event, it's just a community event that's just kind of generally done. And so it's up to every individual whether they choose to participate or not. And all of our fellow communities are recommending all the normal CDC guidelines for masks and distancing and being creative with the way that you provide candy to the kids. And so it'll be October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m.
Any details you would like to present, Judy?
No, I think a lot of people are having discussions on safe ways to do it. You're outside. You're outside your distance. It meets CDC guidelines just by definition of what it is.
Yeah, that's hand sanitizer.
Okay. Zoning hearing board vacancy.
We do still have that one spot on the zoning hearing board vacant, so I'm just gonna kind of have it on here to remind people. We had one person who asked some questions about it, but I don't have any letters of interest yet, so the spot's still open, so if anyone is interested in serving, they meet as needed, and generally it's about once a year is what this is, and the zoning hearing board hears appeals for variances from the zoning ordinance. So say if you want to have a shed and you have a big hillside that prevents you from putting it as many feet back as you need, that's where you come to say, I have this physical land hardship, please allow me to put my shed in a different place. That's an example of what they did.
No response from the one interested party?
No, not yet.
Did he give you an idea of a deadline?
No.
Okay.
I have one item in new business related to the authority in our budgeting. We're looking at salaries for our employees. One of our board members suggested we do a little benchmarking and consider getting data from the Allegheny League of Municipalities, which we've reached out to. They basically say their database is based on municipality, not on authority. So the question is, would the township have any interest in being part of their survey program? You submit your data, they give you back a compilation of the whole, all would participate.
My personal opinion is yes.
We did that, we used to participate in that years ago, and they do usually have an annual deadline for participation, and I think that has passed for 2020, so.
They said they'd waive it.
Okay, so if we go in and do the whole survey, then
They'll give us the book.
the book. And does the book have authority information in it, or is it just township, or, municipal?
It's basically municipal, they said, and when they said it's basically municipal,
And
they're
police?
thinking about breaking it down to authority level, but haven't gone there. I wasn't so sure it was gonna be all that useful too.
That's, yeah, I mean, we
But I
can,
think
we
some of
can
the
do
job
it.
descriptions would be pretty similar, wouldn't they?
The other ones are bigger than we are, so they probably
Right.
have more positions with more detail.
Yeah, it's not a very detailed, it doesn't have job descriptions or anything in it, it just has, broad classifications of job, and it'll be broken down by size of municipality. That's how the data is broken down, so you can kind of see it that way, at least it has been in the past.
Will
I have
it,
some older ones I can
will
pull
it be
and show.
time encumbering to participate?
I probably won't be doing it this week, I don't think I'll be able to do that, but I can look into it, I'll have to contact them and get the survey link and then go through it. Unless you
Dan,
need it this week, Dan, and then I can.
Dan
can do-
O'Malley has had a couple of phone conversations with him. You might want to talk
Okay.
to him before you touch base with them.
Sure.
I sort of told him to cool his jets after we got a detail back of how they structure it, and didn't look it was going to be that helpful to the authority board.
Okay.
I think that if it's not the most helpful, probably just a phone survey of local authorities to just find out, their customer base and their,
Right.
job descriptions and stuff could probably produce something faster than this would, but I'm happy to do it.
Okay. Do any commissioners in their role as citizens have anything to say?
And we're going to come up a response to the most recent letter from John Kuzma.
I don't see a direct response. We should probably do something, but I think it's Swickley's responsibility to answer the question. And we can't authorize their engineer.
No.
But I think you're right. We sent a copy to Marla at Swickley. So Gwen, Dan's probably right. Maybe just a real quick notice to Kuzma saying what we have done. 2 sentences.
Well,
Or is there anything else?
Well, given the data that I got from Dave Kirchner with regard to the wet weather flow,
Right.
I think that we ought to consider surfacing, at least my view is, we're being asked to join into this thing where we would be subsidizing costs that have nothing to do with us, or nothing to do with the sewer flow.
Right.
And unless they're prepared to recognize that, why would we want to be part of that system where we're already getting the high end of the stick?
I think that's part of the overall negotiation, which really can't start until this letter is answered. We could let them know.
Yeah, I'm just saying something. In order for us to be able to say, yes, we'll participate, we need some recognition
Right.
that we're not going to be asked to contribute to expenditures of a capital nature that are really driven by the fact that they have
Right.
CSOs and we don't.
Gwen, can you determine one sentence or two sentences to express that?
Yes, and I'll run it by, Dan, I'll send it to you to
Good.
see if it says what you're asking for it to say.
Because it's clearly significant. What we're talking about, Judy, is combined sewer overflows. When they're designing the capacity of the plant, they have to take into consideration maximum wet water flow,
Right.
a significant portion of which is stormwater, which doesn't show up in the calculation of sewage flow.
And according to the data Dave shared with me, if you have a system that takes your wet weather flow as part of your sewer system, your capital costs are typically about 162%
Right.
of what they would otherwise be if you were just taking sewage like our system does.
I was gonna say, we do just sewage, right?
Right.
And I think the other thing that came out to me in that letter, it's really important to hear Flanagan's response, because the engineers can guess, calculate,
Right.
we can guess and calculate, Flanagan's gonna make the decision. All right, any other citizen participation? We're going to go into a brief executive session regarding personnel and potential litigation.
7:12. It's 7:12. You have to say what time we're going into the session.
At 7:12.